Senate Republicans are questioning the United States' top military official over what they claim is a, quote, woke military agenda. 12 Republicans on the Senate Armed Services Committee sent a letter to Joint Chiefs of Staff Chair General Mark Milley, first reported by Punchbowl News. They say the military is prioritizing adapting to climate change and defeating internal extremism over maintaining what they call a ready and lethal force. The GOP senators want to know how much time and money is being spent on these projects. Both Milley and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin have pushed back on Republican accusations of a so-called woke agenda. Earlier this year, Austin, the first black U.S. Defense Secretary, issued a military-wide stand-down order to address domestic extremism and white supremacy among the troops. It came after at least 5 active-duty service members and dozens of veterans participated in the January 6th Capitol riot. CBS News senior national security correspondent David Martin joins us now with more from the Pentagon. David, thanks very much for being with us. So Defense Secretary Austin has made addressing extremism within the military a priority. What are some of the specific steps that he's taken to date?
Well, last April, he ordered a study of extremism in the ranks, and that was in direct response to the growing number of military and former military or members of the Guard and Reserve who were being arrested and indicted for having participated in that January 6th riot at the Capitol. The numbers you cited, 5 active duty military, and it's actually 76 former or reserve and Guard, is a relatively small number when you compare that with the millions of young men and women that have gone through the military over, say, the past 30 years. But of course, you don't know what part of the iceberg you're seeing just with those indicted at the Capitol riot. So he ordered a study to try to understand the extent of extremism in the rank and to come up with steps to weed out extremists, both before they join and after they're already in. But we do not know the results of that study yet. It hasn't been released, and it hasn't been delivered to Secretary Austin.
So against that backdrop, some Republicans on the Armed Services Committee are now pressing military leadership for details about those efforts. What concerns, David, are they raising?
Well, on extremism, they're saying, why are you spending all this time studying this issue when the number of extremists in the ranks is probably very small? What you should be doing is learning all the mistakes from the last war, Afghanistan, and getting ready to fight the next war, wherever that might be. But beyond the issue of extremism, they accuse the Joint Chiefs Chairman, General Milley, of having a woke agenda. In other words, being politically correct, and specifically being politically correct on issues that concern the current Democratic administration. So things like critical race theory and climate change.
And then, David, how is General Milley publicly addressing the issues raised by these Republican senators?
Well, he's doubled down. He was asked specifically at a House hearing a little while ago about a lecture being given at West Point entitled Understanding White Rage. And he basically said, what's wrong with that? I want to understand white rage, too. I want to understand why thousands of people became so angry. They stormed the Capitol of the United States and were calling for the lynching of the Vice President of the United States. And his deputy, the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General John Hyten, has pointed out that a hurricane in 2018 and flooding in 2019 caused billions of dollars in damage to 2 Air Force bases, one in Florida and one in Nebraska. So climate change has arguably caused more damage to bases in the continental United States than any enemy has ever been able to do. So they view climate change not as a political issue, but as a legitimate threat.
And David, before we let you go, I'm just wondering if on these issues of extremism, on these issues of white supremacy, have there been comprehensive studies? Has there been this kind of effort to quantify data about those two things within the United States military before?
There have been studies, but nobody's ever been able to quantify it. It's a very tricky issue. Because it gets mixed up with free speech very quickly. Mm-hmm. The rule is you cannot participate in an extremist group, and an extremist group is one which advocates violence based on race or gender, or advocates the overthrow of the United States. But what does participate mean? If you have a swastika tattoo, that counts as participating, and that will probably get you kicked out, or if you're a recruit, will probably stop you from being able to join the military. But what about social media? If you follow an extremist group on social media, does that make you a member of that group? What if you just if you like a post on social media, does that make you an extremist? And this is not sort of just this one-time decision you have to make, because 250,000 young men and women come into the military every year. So it's got to be done over and over and over again. And it's got to be done, obviously you can't, people can't do that. You've got to come up with some computer programs that can start to sift through all of the data that's available on social media.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like a vast undertaking to get at some really complex questions, as you point out. All right, David Martin at the Pentagon for us. David, thank you very much.